Hi everyone, my name's Mete, and I am so excited to be one of 4 interns this year for our Catholic chaplaincy on campus. My position this year is one of 2 CCO Connect leaders. I'll be organizing outreach and helping put together and run the faith studies that we'll be providing on campus. So I was raised in a strong Catholic family, attending Sunday Mass, involved in youth ministry, and my parents exposed my sisters and I to many opportunities to grow in our Catholic faith. Looking back, although my faith was always important to me, I can see that I viewed it as more of a rule book to live my life. We talked about our faith at home and amongst our family, but I never really talked about it with friends or at school. And so my faith life was impersonal, and I didn't know that I could have a personal relationship with God. The summer before I entered university, I would say that I was at an all-time low in my faith. I was deeply struggling at this time with the idea of perfectionism. I felt that I had to be perfect in everything that I did. I had to be the student with the best grades, the athlete who was involved in the most sports, the person with the most friends and who was most well-liked. The struggle with perfectionism continued to the point where, as I was entering my first year of university, I felt very alone, and I felt that I couldn't trust anyone with my fears and my true self. I couldn't be vulnerable, especially with God. I felt guilty because of decisions I had made where I was living for everyone and everything else that I thought would bring me fulfillment. And I felt very alone and insecure with who I was. That summer, I was invited to attend a Steubenville youth conference. I went with a few young women from my parish, and although I initially didn't want to go, that weekend absolutely blew me away. There were people there who made it cool to be Catholic. I had never seen people live their faith in that way before. And on the Saturday night adoration, I remember the priest very clearly saying, an invitation to let Jesus into your heart and to let him change you. Up to this point, I had felt fully accepting and open about the conference. However, at this priest's invitation, I suddenly felt this gripping fear. I didn't know what it meant to let Jesus into your heart, and I felt that I was unworthy of God's love. I felt that I was too broken and that I wasn't perfect enough. And at this priest's invitation, I remember actually getting up and walking out of the building. I turned my back on Jesus and said no to his offer. Although I rejected that invitation, I spent the next year of university in a place where I was longing for something more. And I started to feel this deep desperation for a real purpose in my life. And by God's grace, I was invited to attend Steubenville that next summer. And again, on the Saturday night adoration, the priest invited us to let Jesus into our hearts, to let him see us for who we are. And I remember hearing the words in my heart, Jesus speaking to me, Emma, don't be afraid. I love you. And suddenly, without really knowing what it meant or what I was doing, I said yes. And I felt this overwhelming peace and a love that I had never experienced before. That weekend was my first encounter with Jesus in a real personal way. And that encounter compelled me to take a faith study on my campus that fall, a CCO faith study. I took Discovery, and at the end of the study, I was invited to make a real decision to put Jesus at the center of my life. And I said yes. And that yes allowed me to go to confession for the first time, bringing all my sins and burdens, all my shame, all the guilt I felt. And I found true healing in the sacrament of reconciliation. Since my decision to put Christ at the center of my life, God has radically changed my heart and my whole life. He has ultimately come to show me through countless personal miracles that with him, there's nothing to fear. All he asks is that I say yes and trust in his plans for me. Even if I can't yet see the full picture, his plans for me are far greater than anything I can accomplish on my own. And saying yes to him almost 2 years ago now has led me to be where I am right now. And I'm so excited for where this next journey is going to take me and take us. And I know God's going to do such great things this year through our chaplaincy. And so I invite you to set aside your fears of being perfect for him and just let him love you. I'm excited for what this year will bring. You're all in my prayers, and continue to pray for me and for our ministry. God bless.